I'm Lisa-Skye and I'm here with Nikki Viveca.
Hey.
Nikki Viveca, what's on your mind, friend?
I'm thinking about performance and
Yes.
how queer identity affects being a performer.
Yes, because you and I, we are of the stage.
Of the stars and of the rainbow, both.
Yes. And I guess both functionally asexual when it comes to our workplace. I just realised this now, like this second, because I famously have my romantic and sexual relationships outside of my work environment, which is basically the whole arts industry.
And I keep the industry's dick out of me. But I keep all dicks out of me
Yeah.
because I'm just not sexually active at all because I'm asexual.
And so what does asexuality mean to you in terms of, with regards to you?
I've never really understood sex. Like I've never understood what people like about it, why people do it. At the same time as I've grown up in a world obviously where everyone talks about it a lot. For most of my life I just assumed that everyone was like me and they hated it and just pretended to like it to sound cool. But I've come to realise in recent times that people actually enjoy it and that's okay.
I mean, I'm a fan. I understand how people wouldn't be.
But like within a performance context, because especially working in comedy, a lot of humour draws from innuendo and from sexual references and things like that.
Yeah, it is a hypersexual industry, and it is kind of assumed that we're all like, you know, kind of humping around within it.
Well, it's a sort of a standard go-to that you, if you're short on jokes, people just throw in something dirty. And that'll make people laugh because they have that sort of awkwardness release laugh. It's like, oh, that was an innuendo. So even if it doesn't even need to be that funny, you can get a laugh by just being sexy.
As an asexual person, how do you feel about people whose material is almost entirely about sex and non-normative intimacies?
But I love your shows. But it depends. Like, see, the thing that I like in comedy is perspective. So if I'm learning something about sexuality through watching a comedian, then I love that.
Yeah.
I love hearing people talk honestly about the sexuality. What I don't like is comedians who use sexual references as a means to get humour, but they're not actually giving you any information.
That's a really good point. Or they're assuming a global...
See straight dudes making dick jokes.
Oh,
Just subtly, that's what I was talking about. But a lot of that sort of stuff where it's just like, it's just coming from the canon of what you're supposed to say about sex and they just repeat that. And they're not revealing anything about their own sexuality through it. They're just repeating a thing.
Yeah, and they do tend to assume that it's a universal experience. Like, hey, you know, cis males, don't you hate it when you're having asex with a cis female and this? And I'm just like, nah, I'm good at it. I don't know if I'm good at it, but I try real hard. That's a really interesting distinction. So learning is good, tropes are bad. Is there anything else you'd like to say about being asexual in the performance industry?
Well, I think despite not really getting it, I think I've got pretty good at doing innuendos. I don't always get them. Sometimes I just know there's an innuendo about this. I don't really get what it is. But I know that thing makes people laugh, so I can do that. But most of, like, especially when I'm doing improv, I'll do things like that. And I'll use innuendos which I kind of 50% understand. But like with my own comedy, I found, well, because I never really started doing stand-up until I started talking about being asexual on stage. But it put me off starting for a long time because I couldn't do the dirty jokes. Anytime I started trying to write things, like, I just can't do this material. It's not making sense to me. And so my first stand-up, which I wrote and performed, was all about being ace. And then it sort of, I needed to find that perspective and that truth on stage.
Because comedy should be for everyone, and we should be able to speak about a variety of topics in a safe space. Awesome. Thank you, Nikki Viveca. I've been Lisa-Skye for Bent TV.